Today, the energy in Santa Clara is electric. 4 shockwaves hit the locker room. A familiar face might knock on the door. A bold trade already shook the board. A big-name free agent is reigniting debate. And a tough backfield decision exposed the cold side of the NFL. What does that say about Kyle Shanahan's plan for September? The hidden play is in the details, and I'm going to show you where the pivot is. Astonished? You won't believe what we've got today. So take a seat, hit that like button, and let's dive straight into the news. Ready to face a few uncomfortable truths? You know when the front office flips on the warning light and starts mapping every move in the market? That's exactly where the 49ers are right now. And there's a name tugging at our nostalgia. Kendrick Bourne, developed in Kyle Shanahan's system from 2017 to 2020. No soap opera. This is strategy. The team is monitoring the wide receiver market for short-term solutions to stabilize the rotation while tightening the plan for September, prioritizing tempo, separation, and reliability on money downs. Here's the detail that changes everything. The context is pushing a decision now, and that's why Bourne is back as a serious topic in Santa Clara. The last 72 hours explain the magnifying glass. The pursuit of John Mechie III veered off script when the Philadelphia Eagles closed a deal with the Houston Texans, removing a cost-controlled speed option that had real appeal in Santa Clara. In parallel, Demarcus Robinson's 3-game suspension opened an immediate hole near the top of the depth chart and shoved the front office into quick-fix mode, even with the appeal still in process. In response, the brass executed a surgical move, trading for Sky Moore in a late-pick swap that preserves capital and adds a route profile tailor-made for Shanahan's scheme. That sequence of events explains why any option that reduces the learning curve and delivers day-one execution jumps to the front of the line. That's where Bourne re-enters the radar with force. There's no public indication of active negotiations. The interest is speculative, rooted in roster dynamics and profile fit. But 2 factors lean in his favor. First, tactical familiarity. Bourne knows the route tree, the release timing, and the post-snap reads this system demands, which shortens onboarding. Second, the contract math. In March 2024, he re-signed with the Patriots for 3 years and $19.5 million, with $5.5 million guaranteed and a $2.5 million 2025 trigger tied to an 800-yard mark in 2024, one he didn't reach. For 2025, his projected $7.7 million cap hit gives New England flexibility to consider a trade or release near cutdown day. From an acquisition standpoint, that screams low cost and controlled risk. On the field, the fit is pragmatic. Coming off a knee injury, Bourne posted 28 catches for 305 yards and a touchdown in 2024. Those aren't WR1 numbers, but they slot cleanly into the idea of a functional piece who can move inside and out, understands Shanahan's quick game option menu, and executes with discipline, the kind of profile that helps start the engine while the group manages workloads and return-to-play timelines. In the stands, Niner gang is split. Some want youthful pop, others prefer instant chemistry they can trust. The pro-Bourne argument hinges on low cost and minimal learning curve. The pushback is a capped ceiling and the desire to preserve draft capital. If he's released, it's a low-risk flyer. If it's a trade, think late pick and a thumbs up from the medical and coaching staff. Still, the message is out. The front office will keep scouring the market, calibrating options while Moore learns the language of the playbook and Robinson serves his suspension. And that wasn't even the day's most surprising twist. On a board that looked jammed, a new piece already moved. The 49ers front office finalized a trade with the Kansas City Chiefs to bring Sky Moore to Santa Clara. The package was surgical, a 2027 7th-rounder plus Moore in exchange for a 2027 6th-rounder. From the outside, it might sound like just another late-round swap, but inside the locker room, the impact is direct, especially because the wide receiver room has become the epicenter of concern. Here's the play. While the league sees modest numbers in Kansas City, Kyle Shanahan sees a chance to steady an unstable board. The context is brutal. Brandon Ayuk, the gem of the receiver group, is still recovering from a torn ACL and isn't set for an immediate full-throttle impact. Jaquan Jennings is dealing with a calf strain. Jacob Cowing has a hamstring issue. Jordan Watkins, another promising young name, is battling a high ankle sprain. And as if that weren't enough, Demarcus Robinson is serving a 3-game suspension for violating the league's substance abuse policy. The result, the depth chart turned into a puzzle of absences, snap counts, and practice improvisation. This is the hole Sky Moore steps into. So who is this addition? Drafted by the Chiefs in 2022, Moore never topped 250 yards in a season, totaled just 2 career touchdowns, and missed 11 games in 2024 with a core muscle injury. It's a chip arriving with a disappointment stamp. Even so, Shanahan doesn't just see stats, he sees function. Moore brings special teams return history, the ability to work short routes in space, and crucially the youth to try a genuine reset. Risky? Sure, but it's exactly the kind of bet a coach makes when he believes he can squeeze production from a player others wrote off. The fan base is divided. Some question giving snaps to a receiver who didn't pop alongside Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. Others believe that in Shanahan's creative system, even limited pieces can find productive niches. It wouldn't be the first time San Francisco extracted value from a player the league was down on. What everyone agrees on is that the front office moved quickly and kept the position from edging toward collapse. Now the question, is Moore just an emergency patch, or can he become a real wild card in this offense? Time will tell, but one thing's certain, comfort isn't in the vocabulary in Santa Clara. And while the Moore debate heats up, wait until you hear the next name that could land in the Bay. This is where the speculation gets heavy. Even after Sky Moore's arrival, the front office knows one move won't plug every hole at wide receiver. That's why a veteran's name is gaining traction around the league, Amari Cooper. Yes, that Amari Cooper, former Brown Cowboy and Raider, still on the market and available to anyone willing to clear a spot and bet on talent. The comparison to Anquan Boldin in 2013 comes naturally. Just as Boldin brought experience, consistency, and surgical routes to a young offense, Cooper could fill a similar lane now. We're talking about a player who had 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons through 2022, who still offers separation on intermediate routes and a seasoned presence in the locker room. The fit is clear, someone who can contribute immediately without a long ramp-up and force defenses to respect another threat beyond Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and Christian McCaffrey. So why is he still available? 2 reasons: price and motivation. After last season's trade to Buffalo, Cooper didn't deliver the impact the Bills hoped for. The numbers were modest, and analysts questioned whether there's enough gas left. His market also cooled because teams preferred cheaper deals for WR2, WR3 types, or rookies. For San Francisco, the calculus is different. He doesn't need to be a WR1, he'd be a stabilizing bridge until Brandon Ayuk returns from his ACL recovery. In that role, Cooper's ceiling still has value. Timing matters. Placing Ayuk on injured reserve would open an immediate roster spot, and with Jennings and Watkins still rehabbing, the room exists. Between Moore, Russell Gage, Robbie Chosen, Tariq Owens, and Isaiah Hodgins, there isn't a slam-dunk option to lock down those end-of-roster snaps. Cooper would instantly join Ricky Pearsall, Jennings, Watkins, and Jacob Cowing among the most likely Week 1 locks, assuming Ayuk lands on IR and Watkins is good to go. There's a lot in motion, but Cooper would claim a spot, that's certain. And if the desire to play is still there, he'd earn targets. That's the other question, because after Buffalo traded for him last year, the impact didn't match expectations. In Niner Gang, the buzz is real. Some dream of instant chemistry from a veteran eager to prove he still has it. Others fear investing reps in a player trending down. Either way, Cooper wouldn't fly under the radar, and his presence would force Shanahan to redraw the rotation. The strategic impact is undeniable. The mere possibility is already warming debates in Santa Clara, and if you think that's today's biggest headline, wait until you hear the decision that rocked the backfield. Then came the hardest hit of the day. Corey Kiner, the rookie who'd been turning heads in camp, is no longer on the 49ers roster. Undrafted but explosive, decisive, and carrying that underdog edge fans love to rally behind, Kiner had carved out momentum. The NFL can be cruel. In the preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders, Kiner ripped off a 19-yard run and on the same play took a hip drop tackle that resulted in a serious ankle sprain. From a spark to a cart in seconds, the stadium went quiet, the sideline held its breath. Kyle Shanahan didn't sugarcoat it afterward. It was a high ankle sprain and a pretty bad one. When it's not a bad one, I still consider that a month. So in this case, it'll be even longer. Translation: with the calendar tight and roster cutdowns looming, the franchise couldn't afford to carry a player with no immediate return path. The outcome was a confirmed waiver, and a story that looked ready to take off has been put on pause. Tactically, the impact hits the back end of the rotation. Kiner brought juice, youth, and that surprise element to compete for special team snaps or situational packages. His absence shifts more load onto the top group and increases pressure on the staff to keep the rotation healthy through December. Everyone knows it, McCaffrey is the heart of the offense, but he needs real support. Any depth leak can become a January problem. Okay, ChatGPT, say, the fan reaction, mixed sadness and frustration. Many saw Kiner as the symbol of fighting the odds, the undrafted guy with the grit to earn a role. Watching that effort stalled by injury is a brutal reminder of how fragile NFL careers are. Some are already calling for the team to keep him close, whether on the practice squad or via a future deal when he's healthy. Others read the episode as a signal that the front office should add another body to the backfield now. In the end, Kiner's release is more than admin. It's a reminder of how thin the line between breakthrough and heartbreak can be in this league. He exits today, but the impression he made could buy him a second chance when he's ready. For us, it leaves a bitter taste in Santa Clara. Even the good stories can flip in seconds. After so much turbulence, the only thing left is to ask what it all means for the identity of a team that kicks off in September. After an intense day, the picture is clear. The 49ers are accelerating the plan without losing their cool. Possible reunion with Bourne fills tactical gaps. Sky Moore's arrival opens a window for reinvention. Amari Cooper remains the veteran card that could shift the hierarchy. And Corey Kiner's release is a reminder that the NFL doesn't forgive lost time. It all converges on an opener that demands execution, health, and courageous, detail-oriented decisions. So Niner Gang, which move defines this team's identity for September? Drop your take in the comments, hit like, share this with another fan, and subscribe.